Experts used to think that red meat raised our risk of disease, of heart disease in particular, because it was high in saturated fat. And that's still true. But today the picture has gotten a little bit more complicated due to something called TMAO. And this is produced in the gut bacteria during digestion when we eat meat, chicken, fish, and eggs. So people with higher levels of TMAO have a higher risk for both cardiovascular disease and early death from any cause. And researchers know that people with higher levels of TMAO have more than twice the risk of heart attack, stroke, and other serious issues compared with people with low levels. Studies also found links between high TMAO levels and chronic kidney disease. We find in vegetarians or people with plant-based diets, they have very low levels. So now we're going to look at what some of the experts are saying these days. We have the dietary guidelines for Americans. Actually, for the first time, said that vegetarian diets are recommended as one of the 3 healthful dietary patterns, and they started providing meal patterns. They have not done that before. The overall philosophy of the guideline now is that everything we eat and drink matters, but in the meantime, they do say to make half your plate full of fruits and vegetables, to make half your grains whole grains. Now, we in the plant-based world, we try to focus on making all our grains whole grains. So why, and they know that that's the best, and why didn't they put that message out there? They feel that the American population, the general population, is not ready to hear that message. But to clear it up for us is the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. It's their position that the plant-based diet is not only appropriate for all stages of the life cycle, but it may provide benefits such as reduced risk of health conditions like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cancer, obesity, and high cholesterol. And you're going to hear me say these disease states over and over again. Then we have the American Institute for Cancer Research. So they are really encouraging people to go on a plant-based diet, and I have a whole presentation just on that. But they say that we should make our meals based on plant foods and take in at least 2/3 of our food from vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans. They say that there's a strong evidence that consuming fast foods and highly processed Western foods are the cause of weight gain, overweight, and obesity, and those are linked to at least 12 types of cancers. They agree with the World Health Organization's assessment that processed red meats, that the more we eat them, even starting with a low consumption, the higher risk we have for cancer. And those are things, I'm sorry, you guys, like ham, bacon, pepperoni, hot dogs, sausages, and more. So you can see how some of these larger institutions, which take loads of time to make any changes in their philosophies, are all starting to lean in towards the plant-based eating. And the ADA finally now is saying that a plant-based eating pattern is effective as an option for type 2 diabetes management, and they encourage all clinicians to always educate people on lifestyle management. The PCRM, the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, they recommend more like 40 to 50 grams of fiber, and that's what I recommend to my clients as well. Change is hard, but it's usually worth it. We're definitely not carnivores, and while we have adapted to be omnivores, we don't need to be, and it's in our best interest health-wise not to be. After decades of available solid research, large institutions are leaning in and recommending plant-based diets. Experts in the field who are not influenced by industry are showing us how to prevent and reverse diseases with a plant-based diet. And clearly factory farming is not good for our health or the environment. There's really never been a better time to go vegan. There are more options available than ever before. 23 years ago when I became vegan, man, it's a different world out there. So you guys, I think, are all probably familiar with the nutrition facts label, yes? But if it doesn't have that vegan symbol, then we need to scan the ingredients. And then another point of confusion, and this is really confusing, some things say this product may contain milk, or this product is produced in a factory that also packages eggs, or whatever, you know. So it doesn't mean that it's not vegan. You know, hopefully they clean their equipment in between product runs, right? So as I mentioned earlier, meal planning is super important. It's one of the things I do early on with my clients. So much evidence is pointing us towards a plant-based lifestyle that it can hardly be ignored or discounted. But whatever your path, I'm here to support you, Plant-Based DFW. Everybody's here to support you with compassion and without judgment as we each make our journey in our own individual way.